Hi, this is April from Craft Knife Chronicles, and I'm here to share my latest project with you. It's a tunnel book, and I used Graphic 45 by the Sea paper collection to make the book. It is all from the 8x8 paper pad. This is a gatefold book, which means that the cover is divided in two, and when it opens, one side opens to the left and one side opens to the right. This central element here is the closure for the album, and it has some magnets underneath the right side which attach it to the right side of the book and hold it in the closed position. On the left and the right here you can see some orangey red corrugated paper. That is what attaches the front covers to the back covers. The closure is one of the cut aparts in the paper line, which I backed with some scraps of paper, and it also has a piece of chipboard cut to the size to give it some stability since it is the closure. Throughout the album, I've done a lot of fussy cutting, that's detailed cutting, to create interest in each of the pages, starting here with the cover. This cover has one piece of this blue paper in the back with the images on it, and then from the main paper, the primary paper in the collection, I cut out this frame. It goes to the red line around these seashells and around this red line here, just to frame it out. So when we open the book, we see this, and in the middle here is the tunnel book, and I will stand it up here in a minute and you can see how the tunnel goes. There's basically 5 panels to create this tunnel in look, with different elements going on in each one. But just to look at this a little bit from the outside in, over here with the orange starfish paper, this is the back of the lighthouse closure that we saw on the front. And then these 2 panels that are on the left and right are the inside of the left and right covers respectively. And I just cut out some of the cut aparts and backed them with a little bit of off-white paper just to give them to help them stand out a little bit. Now this light blue here is the back side of the corrugated paper. My corrugated paper started out being white, and I just used a combination of distress inks on each side to give the colors that I wanted. On the outside I used some orange and red to create the orangey red color, and on the inside I just used a kind of a light blue color. Just I thought that would blend in with what's going on here a little bit more. So the tunnel. As I said before, the tunnel has 5 panels. The first panel here might look a little familiar from the cover. You can see here are these seashells around the edge here, but there's a little bit more to this border. I've kept more of the border, and also there was an element on the paper that had stamps, so I kept that and just cut around that to create this first panel. I do have some relief in this panel which might not be able to be seen on the video. There's some pop dots that raise up some extra little postage stamps here, and then I've cut some of the edges of the shells and put small pop dots behind them just to give a little bit of interest there. In this particular paper collection, each sheet of pattern paper appears 3 times, but I wanted to use this element on both the cover, and it's also already on this frame and the following frame. Otherwise, if I hadn't been planning to do that, something else that could be done is to cut out these shells individually and just pop the whole each shell up individually. But I didn't have the paper resources without going outside of the one 8x8 pad. And I was trying to stay pretty much using paper from that one pad in this collection, in this project. So on the second panel, which is the children on the beach and the beach scene here, that's also cut from one of the main, the primary pattern paper. It has the children, and it comes over here to the left. I think there's a big blue fish hiding behind these beach rules over here, which I cut out to hide that, and also to provide a little bit of stability on the frame. Now the third layer behind the children is, let me just point, is the ocean back here. There's two waves of the ocean, two lines of ocean, and there's a lighthouse over here to the left, and that is on the third panel. And I used a paper from the paper line that had more contrast than what I felt I wanted to make this ocean. So I just took some blue ink and toned down the cream on the near ocean, and some white chalk ink on the far ocean to give that illusion of depth. Now the fourth panel is the far ocean with the sailing ship, and it is made up of a piece of blue striped paper and then a ship that also came from the primary image. Now that looks, I'm hoping it looks like a rock. I'm pretending that it looks like a rock back here. This actually was the tip of this little fellow's hat right here. But I think in the far distance it gives the illusion of a rock, or maybe a boat or a sail or something that's fallen into the water. So, and that's how I got around the, using this. I wanted to use this image, and I didn't want to have a hole where this hat was. So I think that worked out all right. And then the fifth panel is the back, and it is the blue paper. Actually, it is the same blue paper that is on the cover here. But in order to make it appear a little bit more in the distance, what I did was take a piece of vellum and put it on top of it so that you can still see the images, but it's just toned down a little bit. And then after I had that panel in place, I thought it just needed a little more interest back there. So hopefully you can see in the video there's three little tiny birds flying around there, and those are from Memory Box die. It's called Flying Birds. So let's stand this up so you can see how the tunnel actually works. When it stands up here, you can see that there are individual panels here. There's 4 freestanding panels and then the back panel. Now, some of them are a little bit bowed, and that doesn't bother me. It might be a little variation in when I cut the widths or when I join them to the book. But how a tunnel book goes together is there's a piece of paper that is folded accordion style on either side, and then each panel is attached to the front part of that fold. And so that's what gives it depth and allows it to stand up, so that when the book stands, bring it forward here a little bit, you can see that it has relief in the picture because all of the layers expand out. And then on the back cover, just used one other piece of the pattern paper. The back is a chipboard as well, covered with patterned paper, and then I had this image of this woman was also on the primary patterned paper, and I was able to save her and cut her out and just put the By the Sea emblem down there, just to add a little interest on the back cover. So that's my tunnel book project. I'll leave it opened here while I talk for another second. I'll include some pictures of the individual panels so you can see what they look like. And also there's a separate video. I took some video as I was making the book, so that those of you that are interested in how a book like this comes together, or at least how I put a book like this comes together, can check out that video if you'd like to. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this project. I had a lot of fun making it and working with the Graphic 45 By the Sea collection.